Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Madison here, or Dandelion. Today's video is going to be more chill and chatty and random. So if you're into that sort of thing, stick around, and if you're not, then I'm sorry. But today I am going to be cleaning my altar. I figured I would show you guys a few of the things that I got for my birthday that are kind of witchy and spirituality related. And then I also recently went to my local metaphysical shop to pick up some essentials and things. So I figured I'd show you guys that too. So I have a little bit of a witchy haul from my birthday and from my own purchases. And then it is almost Ostara. So every Ostara, every spring equinox, I like to do some cleaning, do some spring cleaning, and I love to clean my altar. So I'm going to do that now to prepare for Ostara. A lot of the time I do it on Ostara, but Ostara is on a Sunday this year, and I know that I'm going to want to mostly be lazy. So I am doing some of my Ostara celebrations now, like cleaning my altar. And then I'll also chat with you guys a little bit about a couple little things that are going on for me right now and that I'm offering you all right now. So very chatty video this one will be. So first thing is that I am offering Reiki classes. These are certification classes where at the end of the class you are a certified level 1, level 2, level 3, whatever level you do, Reiki practitioner. So if you're interested in learning Reiki, I am offering classes now. Right now, I am taking registrations for April Reiki classes. So if you want to take a Reiki class in April, please reach out to me as soon as possible so that I can get you in and so that you can have time to do any payment plans that you might want to do or anything like that. I will start taking registrations for May once April classes start. So once we're in April, you can register for May, and once we're in May, you can register for June. So the Reiki classes will be continuing every single month. I will offer Reiki classes. So you can sign up whenever you're ready and able, if you want to start saving money for it, or if you want to start planning to do that in the summer or anything like that. I'm here and waiting for you to take class. But if you want to take these upcoming April Reiki classes, get in touch with me as soon as possible. The link is in the Dropbox down below, so click that to get in touch with me. You'll request more information from me, and then I will send you information like pricing and scheduling and things like that. So get in touch with me as soon as possible if you want to take Reiki classes. Do that through my website, which is linked down below. So that's the big main thing. I'm teaching these classes for the first time. This will be my first round of students. So if you want to be among the first few people that I attune to Reiki energy, then please get in touch with me. I'm so excited to be offering these classes and finally teaching Reiki. Teaching Reiki has been something that I've wanted to do for years, but I only just recently, a few months ago, became a Reiki master, and you have to be a master to teach Reiki. So now that I am able to teach Reiki, I am so excited to share it with anybody who's interested in learning. And if you want to know more about what is involved in my Reiki classes, level 1, level 2, if you want to know more about Reiki in general, then I made a video about that on my channel very recently, so you can check that out. That's also in the Dropbox. You can also read more about my classes online on my website, which is again the same link that's in the Dropbox. So let's get into a little bit of a witchy haul. I'm going to start with the things that I purchased myself when I recently went to my local metaphysical shop. I've talked about this store before because I love it so much, but the store that I go to the most that's near me is called Alexandria 2. It is so great in there. I'm a member. Discounts. Hell yeah. But basically what I got from Alexandria 2 this time, and pretty much every time, are just the essentials for my practice. So the first things coming out of the bag are these two little black candles. I use these for protection work. I usually give them to a certain deity that I charge with protection, and whenever I burn it is when I'm asking for some extra protection. So I have one on my Sekhmet altar, which is this shelf right here. Sekhmet is the deity that helps me most with performing healings on other people. So I will typically light one of these candles that I have. I have one on her altar right now. It's almost burnt down to the bottom, so that's why I bought a few more. But I will light that candle on Sekhmet's altar for protection when I'm performing a healing on someone else. I ask her to protect my energy field from anything in my client's energy field, because sometimes when you're performing healings on people, you can kind of pick up things that aren't yours, and you can start to have kind of like a physical symptom of some sort, like your wrist might start to hurt, you might start to have like a little bit of a cold or a sniffle. So adding that little bit of extra protection when you're performing a healing is really, really helpful, so you don't pick anything up from the client you're working on. And I also ask for protection in other aspects of life. So whenever I'm needing protection, I burn one of these in front of whatever deity's altar it's on. So I picked up a few more of these because I always need more. The next two things are two more candles that are kind of essentials for my practice. These are frankincense and myrrh candles. So I use these for general practice. So I have a candle right here that is in the center of my altar that I kind of use whenever I light it. That's me calling on all of my spirit guides, all of my deities that I worship. It's me calling on what we call in the Akashic Records, your guardians, your teachers, and your loved ones. So that is kind of the candle that I light when I'm saying, hey, I'm doing a magical working. Anybody who wants to participate, please come participate and help and aid in the working. This candle that I have right here is almost burned down to the bottom. I also have a similar candle up high on an altar that you can't see that's out of frame. So I have these kinds of candles in a few different places. So I always like to have a bunch on hand in case one dies at an inconvenient time. I have a new one to pop in. But I like using these because they are frankincense and myrrh, which is a little bit more of a general sacred scent and oil and herb. And being that a lot of my deities are Kemetic, even my ancient Greek deities, they all like frankincense. They all want me to burn frankincense. So these candles are good for kind of a anybody want to join and hang out with me kind of vibe. The next thing coming out of the bag is more candles. Shocker. These are pillar candles, small little pillar candles. They're yellow, and I got these for my spring altar, for my Ostara altar. I have these little candle holders that are for these little pillars, and I've got two on my goddess side of my altar. There's a cat up here messing stuff up. And then I've got two on the God side of my altar. So I've got two little blue ones that have like little stars on them. And then I have these white ones that one has like a little goddess symbol on it and the other one has a half moon symbol on it. So these are for those. I'll put one on each side, one on the God side, one on the goddess side. And you'll see that I have two white candles in one on each side. And I like to use these for calling on specifically goddess energy or specifically God energy. And I use these basically whenever I'm doing something that's a little bit smaller, but I still want the presence of that God energy or goddess energy or sometimes both. So I have these bigger that you'll see, there's one right here. I have these bigger candlesticks that have beeswax candles in them. And I use those candles more so when I'm doing a bigger working and I want God, goddess energy with me when I'm doing a more intense working like a full moon ceremony or sometimes celebrating a Sabbath, anything like that. I use those bigger candles, but I like to use the smaller white candles when I'm just doing something quick, but I still want to evoke God or goddess, and sometimes both. So I'll just add these yellow ones to each side also, so we'll have a white one and a yellow one on both sides. So now let's talk about a few things that I got for my birthday that are kind of spiritual related. It's funny because now that I've noticed that since I've been more open with my spiritual practice, like on the internet and things, now on my birthday, all anybody gets me is spiritual stuff. Like now my only identifying thing to people who don't know me that well is that I'm a witch. So people are like, oh, I don't know what to get Maddie for her birthday. I don't know. I'll go to the metaphysical store and get her whatever I see. So that's pretty funny. It's like these silly muggles, and I'm, you know, there's a possibility that one of these muggles I'm talking about is going to see this, but, you know, they probably don't watch my videos, and if they do, they just kind of click through them and they don't really watch them. So this is just for you and I, but I feel like muggles have no concept of spirituality or witchcraft or Wiccan practice or anything pagan. So they find out that you're pagan or a witch or Wiccan, and they're like, oh God, what do I get them? And they just go to the metaphysical shop and buy you like 3 crystals. It's just really funny. Like, I appreciate the effort. It's sweet, but it's also like, please don't buy me spiritual stuff if you don't know what you're doing, because a lot of it's like stuff I would have never purchased myself for ethical reasons or stuff I don't need. But anyway, so some of the stuff I got, I won't show because it's stuff that I'm like not happy I got. Because it's either, like I said, ethically not something I would purchase or use, or it's just something that's like so silly and frivolous and I don't need it or want it. This first thing I'll show is an amazing thing that my sister got me, and I'm so excited about it. And this is not an ad. I wish it was, quite honestly, but it's not. But I'm not exactly sure what this place is called. I'll have to look, but I'm pretty sure it's an Etsy shop with candles, and the only sticker on it is, like, I think it might be called like Candles by Michelle, and then it says handmade. So I'm not quite sure what the name of the store is, but I'll find out and I'll link it down below. Again, not an ad. I wish it was, because then I'd be making dollars. But I got this candle my sister got me. It's so beautiful, made out of good stuff, so I don't have to feel weird about it. Love that, because my sister's not a muggle, so she gets it. And it is so beautiful, and I can't wait to figure out what I'm going to use it for. Possibly something Aphrodite related, but I'm very excited about it. It's beautiful. It's pink because she knows me. Everything I love is pink. Another thing, also from my sister for my birthday, is this beautiful sun catcher. I have one sun catcher already in my bedroom, and I've been wanting to get another one. And this one's perfect because it's longer than my other one, so it'll dangle a little bit further and catch more sunlight in my window. But it's this. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm going to hang it later, but I'm so excited about it. It's so beautiful, and it's got some amethyst on it. Pisces, hell yeah. I also got this beautiful art print that is definitely going somewhere on my wall of miscellaneous crazy art witchy items. But it's this beautiful purple moon with a crow and feathers, and it's just so gorgeous, and it feels very Hecate. So I'm excited about it. I'm definitely going to put it up somewhere right over here. And again, I don't know who this artist is because this was a gift, but I will try to figure it out, and I will put it in the Dropbox if I can learn who did this beautiful print. Okay, so that's my little witchy haul done. Just a few little essentials and then a couple things I got for my birthday. So now I'm going to get into cleaning my altar. And as you can see, there is a lot of stuff on my altar. So this usually takes a while, and I'm not really gonna explain much. I'm just gonna go through and clean it. Maybe once I'm kind of done doing the cleaning part and clearing everything off, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about what I do before I put everything back to kind of bless the altar and prepare the altar to have things on it again and become that magical spiritual space, sacred space. But yeah, I'm mostly just going to get to cleaning, and I will speed everything up so it's only long for me. I braided my hair so I can clean without my hair in my way. But another thing I just thought of that I almost forgot about is I was just recently on vacation for the first time since the pandemic started, and I was in Puerto Rico, beachy kind of vibe, and I found the most glorious things. First, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in the video I'm going to post next because it will be about Aphrodite, but I found 2 of them, but the first one is a little bit broken, so I'll just show you the second one. But I found sand dollars. And both the sand dollars I found, I was just like walking on the beach or getting in the water, and I just looked down and they were in between my feet. Like both times the sand dollar was in between my feet, just sticking out of the sand. And it was amazing. I've never found a sand dollar before myself on the beach. And it was so cool, but they're both so beautiful, and I am going to be, in, like I said in my next video, it'll be about Aphrodite. So I'm going to be cleaning my Aphrodite altar in that video and adding these new things that I found, like this beautiful sand dollar and the other sand dollar I found. Another thing, and this one is really cool. So if you're like If you're like me and you get really excited about these things, you're going to be really jazzed. But I found, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I found this. Oh, can you believe? Grab, grab, grab. It's a crab claw, and she's gloriously beautiful. But I found this crab claw when I was walking down the beach. Initially, me and a few of the other people that I was on vacation with started walking down the beach because one of the people in our vacation party, my aunt, she was doing a horseback riding excursion, and they come out onto the beach, like just a ways down the beach, like a short 3-5 minute walk. And we wanted to catch her on her horse on the beach and take some photos of her and with her. And so we started walking to meet her where she was going to be on her horse. And as we were walking, I started to notice that there was a lot of trash. So I started picking up pieces of trash. And as I was picking up pieces of trash, I started to notice other little things. And then I saw this crab claw just sitting on the beach. Clearly someone had eaten the crab and left the claw. It had no meat in it. It's hollow. You can see into the claw if you look right into it. It was filled with like wet sand, so I had to kind of let it dry out on the plane ride. And then when I got home, I tipped it like this and all this sand fell out. So it is now completely hollow. It's very light and it doesn't move anymore because, you know, it's not, the joint is no longer attached to a living, breathing thing. So everything's dried out and it doesn't move anymore. When I first picked it up, it would kind of flop back and forth. But yeah, it's so cool. And initially this is such a rare find. It's crazy. And in such good condition too. Initially when I found it, I had already found one of the 2 sand dollars that I found during the trip. So I felt like, wow, Aphrodite is really like sending me a lot of love. She's really sending me gifts and showing me that she's present for me. Like, this is amazing. Thank you, Aphrodite. And I was also even thinking like, wow, do I have to like start working with Poseidon now? I was like, I can't, that's too much. I have so many deities I'm working with. So I was like, this kind of confused me at first. I was like, who is this from? Where did this come from? Why am I finding this and receiving this? And then I got home after the trip was done, and I had found 2 sand dollars, and I felt like, okay, these sand dollars are definitely from Aphrodite. I've recently done a lot of, I guess, offering for Aphrodite and work with Aphrodite. I made that short film that's here on my channel called The Love Letter to Aphrodite. If you want to check that out, that's in the Dropbox. But I made that short film, and I also did a few other things on my own with Aphrodite. And so I felt like the sand dollars were definitely from her. That was her kind of acknowledging me and thanking me for making that short film for her and showing her my love. And when I got home, I was like, okay, that's definitely true. The sand dollars are definitely Aphrodite. What is the deal with this crab claw? And then I was like, okay, what were the things, the magical workings that I did right before leaving for Puerto Rico? And that's when I was like, oh yeah, I introduced myself to Heracles right before I left for Puerto Rico. I did a live stream here on my channel, I'll link it down below, where I called on a deity for the first time and I invited you guys to do it with me. And you can still replay it and go along with me and call on whatever deity you're starting to work with if you want to do that. But the deity I called on in that video to start working with, I had never worked with Heracles before that live stream. I called on Heracles. And I introduced myself to him. I asked him questions like, how can I work with you? What do you want on your altar? How can I honor you? Things like that. So just like questions to get our relationship going. And Heracles is very different than pretty much all the other deities I work with. I don't work with a whole lot of gods. I work a lot with goddesses. But god energy is, in my opinion, just as important as goddess energy, pure god energy. Different than the masculine energy we see most of the time in our society today. It's very toxic. But pure god energy is amazing. Very useful, very powerful, very important. Just like pure goddess energy. I like working with both. That's just me. I feel like within my spirit and myself, I am very much so both. I have a lot of goddess in me. I have a lot of God in me. I feel like I'm a pretty confusing dichotomy. I have tattoos and I'm into witchcraft and spirit work and all these things, but I also painted my room light pink and love pink in general and love soft things and pastels, and I have several cats and they're all very fluffy and lovely and I love them. And so I love soft things and hard things and dark things and light things. I love mixing all of them together. I don't want to be pinned down as one thing. I want to be a girl covered in tattoos wearing a pink pastel dress, you know? So I like to work with both God and goddess, but Heracles is very different than the few male deities that I work with, because the male deities that I do work with are relatively feminine or more non-binary or more all-encompassing, and they're not so gendered. But Heracles is much more of, you know, he is self-proclaimed man. He is masculine. He identifies as a man. And all of his behavior is very masculine and very male. So he's very different for me. He's a different energy for me. He's a different vibe for me. But so because of this, I wasn't really sure how to work with him. I wasn't sure especially what he would want on his altar. So for a long time, I just had, and Heracles is right here. He's this white shelf, the bottom white shelf right there. So I'm not sure if you can see from here. I think you can a little bit. It's blurry, but that's his statue that I have for him. And for a few weeks, all I had on his altar was his statue, because I literally said to him in that first ritual, I don't know what to put on your altar. Like, please tell me what to put on your altar. And when I asked him what I should put on his altar, I didn't really feel a strong response or answer. So I was like, okay, to be continued. We'll just put that on hold and we'll see what happens, you know, because that's how these spiritual things work. They kind of work themselves out. You don't know how things are going to come to you, but they find a way to come to you. So I kind of put it on the shelf and I was like, okay, I'm going on vacation. When I come back, we'll revisit this. Heracles had other plans. So, and then I found this crab claw on vacation after having started working with Heracles, introduced myself to him and asked him, what do I put on your altar? And when I got home, I was researching, does Heracles have a connection with crabs? And he does. There's a story of Heracles, and I only briefly read it. I'm going to read it more in depth. It's open on my laptop, like all other 50 tabs that are open on my laptop. But the gist of the story is that Heracles was in battle. You know, like a lot of the stories of Heracles, him being a hero, he was battling a crab and he destroys the crab. He crushes the crab. And here I am with a piece of my crushed crab. Like, oh, who's this from? What do I do with this? It's from Heracles. He was like, put this on my altar. You don't know what to put on my altar? Here's this. So this is super cool. It's definitely one of the coolest things I've ever received from spirit and deity, but it's now proudly on my Heracles altar. And I just had to share that with you guys because it was so cool and I knew you guys would appreciate it. Most people, I show them this and they're like, oh, okay, and then they move on. And I'm like, but look at it. Like, my excitement knows no bounds. Okay, so let's get into cleaning. Oh my God, I keep interrupting myself. I also picked up this. I always like to have one of these every year. I love space. That's something that I guess I haven't shared much on my channel as of yet. But I love doing magical workings according to where the planets are and the stars are. And I don't understand like anything about astrology. I would like to change that, but it just feels so daunting as a topic, I guess. Maybe one day I'll get into astrology. But right now, I'm more so just into planets and like astronomy more than astrology, I guess. But yeah, so I love, like I've been learning all the stars. I've been doing a lot of stargazing and things like that. And I always pick up one of these guides every year so I can kind of plan accordingly. But yeah, that's one of the other things that I forgot that I also picked up at the store. because I hadn't gotten one yet, and it was late February when I was there purchasing this, and I was like, I still don't have a guidebook for the year. So I picked up this one. Oh my god, I'm doing it again. I'm so sorry. I also got a lot of crystals for my birthday, like I was talking about. Muggles don't know what to get witches. They just go to the store and buy a bunch of crystals. Not that I'm mad. I'm not that mad about it. But yeah, there are so many. I got like 6 or 7. Some of them are amazing, I will say. Some of them I'm like, woo, this is a good crystal. But a lot of them I don't know what they are. So I know obviously this is rose quartz. This is just plain quartz. But there's several that I got that I'm not quite sure what they are. So I'm going to be identifying those sometime this weekend, and placing them places accordingly. I do usually a lot of the time with crystals kind of not even know what they are and just use them for what I intuitively feel like I want to use them for. So several of the crystals I got, I did put on my Heracles altar along with the crab claw. So I'm going to still look up what they are and identify them and read about their properties, but I'll probably find that they should be there anyway where I felt like they should be, because that's usually how it goes. But yeah, I also got several crystals. Back to your regularly scheduled cleaning that hasn't even begun yet. So I'm interrupting myself again, and we've barely done anything because as I'm taking things off the altar, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. But one of the things I got from my cousin for my birthday that is actually a really cool gift. So she does not fall under the category that I was talking about of muggles buying witches' foolish things. She killed it. She gave it to me and she told me it's a plant that never dies. And apparently I can put it in water and it will kind of like, you know, come back to life. So I'm gonna put it in a bowl of water, probably on my altar if I have space for it, and see what happens. But yeah, so I've had this sitting here kind of like waiting for me to do something with it. But this was a really cool gift I got that I'm excited to kind of play around with and see what happens. I'm going to put it in some water and I'll let you guys know what occurs. Can you see how bad that is? This has to be like 20 incense sticks and like 6 incense cones. Why can't I just dump the ash after each one? Why can't I just do that? Why do I have to let it build to this point where it's like scary and concerning? I don't know. This is just who I am. I guess this is my kink. Having way too much ash on my incense burner. Cleaning it like twice a year. Much better. I'm so sorry. If you're not watching Drag Race, then the majority of my channel will go right over your head. I'm just saying. Bag of chips reference. I also forgot until right now, happy full moon. Because I'm filming this the day before the full moon, but I'll post it on the full moon. So happy full moon. Oh, I'm doing it again. Just assume I'm going to interrupt myself every 3 minutes. I also got, for my birthday, that is amazing, and I'm so excited about it, this little blue Bastet statue. It's so gorgeous and sweet. But isn't she so cute and beautiful? Oh, she's so perfect. I was thinking, I'll use her for my travel altar. I've been kind of accumulating little supplies for, my altar when I'm in spaces that aren't my home, because my practice is very important, and it's a lot of daily ritual, daily practice, every morning, every evening, you know. And if there's, you know, if there's a Depnon, if there's a full moon, if there's a dark moon, I can't really skip it. So I'm starting to accumulate things I can travel with and set up an altar wherever I am so I can still do my practice. But I think this will be perfect for the goddess side of my travel altar because it's so sweet and beautiful. It just made me so happy when I saw it. I love this. This is one of my favorite things I got for my birthday for sure. Do you guys want an altar tour? Where I like tour my whole fucking wall? Like, is that of interest to you guys? Comment that down below if you want an altar tour. Or maybe I'll comment like this if you want an altar tour and like that comment. And if it gets a lot of likes, I'll make an altar tour. I used to feel weird about the concept of doing an altar tour. I feel like people really frown on showing your altar to people, especially on the internet, but I just think that's silly. Because, like I said, I always used to feel like, you know, I kind of had to guard my altar and hide my altar, but now I feel the opposite. But I also feel like part of my, you know, I do a lot of work in the Akashic Records, especially, like for myself, learning about my soul and my incarnations and my purpose. And I feel like, and I know that a lot of my purpose, especially in this incarnation, is to share knowledge and share experiences I've had and demystify things. And so I understand why people don't want to show their altar or don't want people to see their altar or don't want to show their altar on the internet. Of course, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. I don't have a problem with you not doing that. Everybody has their own feelings. But I don't feel that way. I feel like, and I talked a little bit about this in a recent video. I can't remember which video it was, but I talked a bit about this recently on my channel. Feeling like, you know, the deities I work with, especially the deities I've made videos about on my channel, have told me explicitly that they want me to bring their followers to them. So a lot of what I do on my channel is because I'm being told by the deities, by the beings that I work with, that they want me to share this knowledge. They want other people to know of them and work with them. So that's why I'm never really shy about my altar or my space or my spiritual practice, because they want me to show you guys. Like I feel like a lot of people feel like it lessens their magical power, it lessens the power of their sacred space, but I don't feel that way. I don't think that's true. And again, everybody's feelings are correct because they're their own feelings. Nobody's feeling can be wrong. But for me personally, my deities love being shown. They want to be seen. Of course, there are things that I do that are sacred to me that I wouldn't want anyone around for because I'm a solitary Wiccan and that's very special to me. But, and of course there are times where a deity will say, you know, I said in my first Depnon vlog that I had to wait to film Depnon because the first time I asked Hecate if I could film Depnon, she said no. So, of course, there are times with certain rituals or spells that a deity will say, you know, make sure you're alone or make sure we're alone. But in general, when it comes to my sacred space and my deities, I don't feel uncomfortable showing you guys. So, let me know if you guys want an altar tour, because I feel like I actually would be okay with that. Used to not be okay with the idea of that, but now I'm pretty into it. And like I said, it helps people. It helps people to see, oh, okay, that's what's on her altar. That's how I could do my altar, or that gives me an idea for my altar. You know, a lot of people learn through example. And if you don't have an example to look at, how are you supposed to know what you're supposed to do? So, I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. Look at all the cat whiskers I have. Can you guys tell how many there are? There are so many. There are literally like, it's got to be like at least 10 here. Basically, every time I see a cat whisker on the ground in my house, I scoop it up and I give it to Bastet. But I've accumulated quite the little pile here. Now we're getting somewhere. I'm so sorry. That's from Shrek. Oh my god. Log off, delete the account. And that's an Alyssa Edwards reference. Hey kitties, I got a heaping pile of catnip over here if anybody wants to wake the hell up. Ugh, I have to go cut this off. In case you wondered, nothing I own has tags on it. I hate tags. This is Agua de Florida that I made myself. The spray bottle is messed up. So when I want to use it, I have to open it and kind of gets on my hand and then flick it instead of being able to spray it because the spray bottle doesn't work. I have other spray bottles that I could transfer this to. Only the gods know why I don't just transfer it. At some point I will. I'm just a fool, I guess. But yeah, that's what this is. I wiped the altar down with a cloth and water just to get off all the little bits of stuff, little bits of herbs and things that I've gotten stuck to it. And then I use this to kind of ready it for sacred space. And it's also a nice smell, you know? So, and the herbs and spices that I used are all things that have properties like cleansing or protection or creating sacred space. So this spray is great for all those things. And if you guys want me to make a video at some point about how to make cleansing sprays and protection sprays and things like that, I would love to make a video like that. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. The next thing I'm going to do is I have this full moon rainwater. So this is rainwater that I collected. And then it was also raining on the full moon. So the night that I left the bowl out was the night of the full moon. So this water is also charged with the full moon, charged with the energy of the full moon. And it's a Kemetic technique to bless the space with water, and you just flick it. You do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, dipping your hand each time. And that's something that I like to do. I do it before every spiritual working, and I also do it every time I cleanse my altar space. Gretel has emerged from under the bed. I wish you guys could see, but Gretel, my youngest kitty, she is sitting here just watching me. That's kind of her thing with the altar. Ever since I adopted her. And it's about her gotcha day. I think you've been here about a year, miss. But ever since I got her, she's been obsessed with the altar, especially the lady parts of the altar. She will jump up and like try to reach for Lilith, who's over in the corner over here out of frame. And she does the same thing to Aphrodite in the bathroom. So she's a goddess girl. But she is so sweet and very curious, and she doesn't like to be touched much. So I won't like lift her up and show her to you guys. But she's right here wandering around, sniffing all the altar items and making sure I'm behaving correctly, supervising everything. She's my boss. Another kooky random story I'll tell you guys real quick because Gretel's doing something similar right now. I just finished cleaning Bastet and Anubis, so I put Bastet down so I can put the scarf on here. And she immediately walked up to Bastet, she's sniffing her, she's still doing it, she's sniffing her all around. And a couple weeks ago, I was doing some rearranging of stuff with my altar, and I was thinking about possibly making a video on Zeus and doing a giveaway for the statue I have of Zeus. So I took Zeus down from where I have him currently, which is above Heracles. Heracles is Zeus's son. And so I took Zeus down, I put him on the ground. My cat Giles, who, mind you, when I adopted him, his name was Hercules. I put Zeus down on the ground. Giles immediately runs into the room, like literally runs, and goes right up to Zeus and sniffs his mouth nose area, like kisses Zeus. And I was like, okay, well now I gotta keep Zeus. And since then, I've been working with Zeus more. So I was going to stop working with Zeus, / I'd never really started. But now I work with Zeus because Giles would not have me getting rid of his dad. So yeah, now I work with Zeus and Heracles. Me cleaning my altar is basically just me obsessively trying to make everything look exactly perfect the whole time. All right, the altar is all clean and beautiful and ready for spring, ready for this new season of abundance and wealth, ready to plant those seeds and be fertile. It looks so good and I'm so happy with it. I sprinkled some dried flower petals throughout, and it's looking lovely and springy. Over the next few days, I will, while I'm out and about in my neighborhood, keep an eye out for any flowers that have fallen or fresh flower petals that have fallen, and I will grab those to put on the altar also for Ostara. I like to decorate it with lots of fresh flowers on the day of Ostara, and then as they dry, I hang them upside down so they dry beautifully. But that is it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that subscribe button, and you can also hit the join button to become a member of my channel to get exclusive members-only perks, like access to videos before everyone else gets to see them, so you get to see them a full 24 hours before I release them to the public, and also getting to vote in members-only polls that get put up on the community tab of my channel here on YouTube. In those polls, my members vote on what video I'm going to make next. We vote on deity spotlights and everything else. So become a member of my channel to support me and help me keep making content on YouTube, and also to get access to all these perks. Also, don't forget to sign up for Reiki class if you're interested. All the links you need for Reiki classes are in the Dropbox. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Blessed be and happy full moon. That's on spring. Blessed Ostara. A witch with allergies, what a cruel twist of fate. Oh, now I need a tissue and I've got a cat sitting in my lap. Oh, this is bad. Giles, go get me a tissue and come back.